Welcome back. Today we're looking at the rust on my 2012 Westminster. Hopefully it's not too bad. I have a friend called Rob who has a 2005 version of these, and I'll put up some photographs of what his car looked like. The rear jacking points are the Achilles heel, and I think it's as a result of this particular thing that JLR fitted from new.
It's basically a sort of very light spongy thing. I think it just acts like a sponge, stays wet and just helps, but well, basically prevents the sill from drying out properly. Anyway, first job, as you can see from my car, it's just starting to show signs of surface rust here, but that's not the main concern. I'll get underneath and show you where the real areas of concern are. So to help you see where we are on the rear jacking point, and then you can see from the inside, inside here, it's not looking great, but the main concern is underneath this trim. So you've got to take this trim off first, and then I've got a small probe camera that I can have a look inside the sill, so we'll see what sort of state it's in. This is the first one to get out of the way. There we go. And then this is the technique I found for getting these ones off. These are best. Get your screwdriver in the flat bit, lever out that until it stops like that, and then instead of trying to get behind here, you can then just pull the sill cover away. It comes out with a pop, and then you can just continue on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total. I'm going to clip 3 off, because I don't necessarily want to take the whole thing off, because I know the area of concern is at the back. You can see at the back here you've got 2 clips, this one and this one here. And it's best to go at these quite gently if you can, so you don't break them. And I'll show you why you get rust around this corner in a second. I'll just pull this off a little bit more. I'll clip the trim piece off as far as here. Ideally, I'll show you why I don't think you need to take it off all the way to do this particular job, and I'll show you that from underneath. So before I do grovel around underneath the car, I put one axle stand in my preferred position. This is the main structure of the sill, and you can see it's got these sort of gaps here that I suppose are supposed to let the water get out. So just using my feeler gauge, I'll show you what I've discovered. So this outside, this most outside hole just doesn't go anywhere. It's blocked. Well, it's not blocked, it's just blank. But the inside one obviously goes up. This one doesn't, because there's a bracket here for the steps that I've removed. But this one, as you can see, goes all the way up into the box section. At the back, it's actually a bit different. Bum clips towards the jacking point. These bits actually aren't here, because there's another stronger panel welded in here. But the goal is just to give this a bit of a clean up, and I'm going to have a look inside the box section now. Right, the first job is to get some Lanoguard grease on this area and then give it a spray. So obviously this isn't preventing any corrosion from the inside out, but it's preventing it getting worse from the outside in. So I'll just crack on with that, and I'll show you what it looks like when I've done. Right, it's not a very good looking job, but it's better than nothing. Right, now for the inside. So the critical points to go into are these inspection caps, which or blanking plates, which just clip off with a screwdriver. Right, to help look in here, I've got, what is this? Depsteg WF029, my old Android phone. I'm going to go in to these 3 holes, try and show you the difference between the 3. That's furthest towards the rear. So the one that is just above the jacking point, and I can actually get this camera inside the jacking point here. I know it's difficult to see, but you can see the corrosion at the base, and as soon as you point the camera up, I guess there was evidence of some rust proofing attempts in there. But my only solution here, and that is the top of the rubber on the jacking point. So the only solution really here is to swamp this area with Lanoguard to prevent the actual spreading of this. If I go into the second hole along and point backwards, you can see that's the jacking point there. At the base it's got some corrosion. That's the inner lip that I showed you from the outside. And then as you move the camera forward, the rust actually starts to clear up a bit. When that's going into the third hole, and you can see the rust on that inner lip has almost stopped. But the job now is to fill it up. Right, for this little job I'm just using Lanoguard, which you're probably familiar with. I think it's okay. It's not as good as a dinner troll type product, I don't think, but you've got a really handy spray gun, so you don't need to hook up a compressor. But the job is to get it all in here. So I'm just filling these up. I think my Lanoguard gun has seen better days. They don't last too long, in my experience. Right, that's all full. Before I stick the camera back in that hole, let me just show you why I think this particular thing starts to rust. This area on the rear wing. You have this clip, and as you can see, it just fills up with rainwater and sediment from the road, which is basically just grit, which acts like a very effective cutting compound, which then just removes the paint, allows the water in, and then starts that corrosion from the outside. So with this, I'm just going to wire brush this off and put a load of Lanoguard grease on it. I'm not particularly worried about the appearance from the outside when the door's shut. And I won't shut the door now because I'll probably snap this. You don't see this piece. So I'm going to clean this off and dig out the grime here and see if I can work out a way of draining that. Let's get it covered up. Let's see how it looks in here now. So this is in the rear. Yeah, still some dry patches at the front actually there. Get the squirter back in. This is the second hole from the back. So yeah, that all looks pretty full. And this is the third hole. Maybe I'll just need to do some sharp braking to get some of that to the front. But yeah, the front of the sill isn't really the problem. It's just all starts from the back. So if I can stop the rust from the back, travelling to the front, it should be fine. So that's job nearly done. I've put the Lanoguard in those bottom 3 holes. I've also squirted a lot up into this one here. Put it behind here. As you can see, the sponge bit, those spongy bits should sit in there at the back in that gap. in front of the rear wheel arch line, but I've taken them out so it gets dry in there. And to get a bit of Lanoguard into the front of the sill, where I've popped it off here, I can just squirt it in like that. It doesn't all go in, but it doesn't really matter. Cool. Right, that's the job done on this side. I'm going to do the other side, but it's just going to be the same. Hopefully you found this useful. It's a sort of a life-saving job for these L322s, because if you keep spending money on them and you ignore this particular issue, then you've got a pretty big welding job. But look, thanks for joining me. Hopefully you found this useful. If you have, please do subscribe. I've got about 750 subscribers now. Not that that's of relevance to you, but if it's been useful, then yeah, please subscribe. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.